Greetings everyone, welcome back to Reading in the Dark. My name is Byron and I read sometimes, and occasionally I even post videos. I am enjoying a lovely cup of my very traditional peppermint hot chocolate. It's got some peppermint liquor in it, which helps it be very tasty. I don't know why I'm talking like Martha Stewart. Welcome back, you guys. It's been a minute since I posted a video. I'm sorry about that. Also, by the way, if you're just here for bookish content, you can skip to this time right now, and that's where the books will be. I have had this mug, which I bought at Starbucks in New York City in 2009. Well, since 2009. I just love it. I think it's so cool. It's embossed kind of, and it's pretty, and I love it, and I just take really special care of it, and I always wash it by hand and stuff. But you know, I actually made a mistake when I did this. I have to add the finishing touch to this, which is a candy cane. And I kind of drop it on the edge of the cup there. And it's cute. I work at Disney. So in 2020, I was laid off. And then in 2021, before I went back, I got a job performing in like a musical nativity show. It's a really beautiful show and I love doing it. And then I went back to Disney. So then the following year in 2022, I did the show again, and it was really, really tough to do both at the same time. So last year, I decided not to do it, and it was a good choice. I missed the show though. So this year I'm doing it only twice a week, and it's been going really great, but it is time consuming, and it means that my energy is a little bit lower and I have less time to do stuff like this. So that is partially why I'm so behind. The other issue is my vlogs. So it has come to my attention, I need to film less. The raw, unedited footage for my October vlog, which I'm still working on, by the way, was 10 and a half hours. And with this new job that I've been doing temporarily, which is almost over, I haven't had time to edit. So I'm super behind on editing those vlogs. I do have an October vlog, a November vlog, and a December vlog all in the works. When I fall behind, then I don't know what to do, because I don't think anybody wants to watch somebody decorate for Halloween in the middle of December. So what I have decided is, when I'm vlogging, I'm going to be more intentional and focused on like a topic. So there will be vlogs that are specifically about one thing, instead of just an entire month where just like anything that happens in that month is in the vlog. So anyway, all of that to say, I realize it's been a minute and I apologize. It's the holiday season, so here we are making a holiday video. So what I wanted to do was talk to you about the holiday books that I have read recently, that I'm currently reading, and also the holiday books that I've read in the past that I recommend. There's a book that I'd seen floating around on Goodreads that looked very Christmassy and quite lovely to me. It didn't have great reviews, but I was still intrigued. It has a great title and a really nice Christmassy cover. And it involves trains, and I felt like, I have to read this book. I want to read this book, I'm gonna read it. So of course I'm talking about Murder on the Christmas Express by Alexandra Benedict. Now, I gave this 3 stars. This is a story of a social media influencer, and she and her abusive boyfriend, who are both famous. He was famous for some other reality show he was on. They're on this train, but there's really bad weather, and there's a whole cast of characters. There's all of these young college-age know-it-all kids who are on their way to this like quiz show audition. And then there's a murder and someone dies, and a retired police officer, essentially, the book's protagonist, has to kind of figure out what's going on. So it's not super, super original plot-wise, but like the location and the vibes are immaculate. I really kind of enjoyed it, which is probably the best thing that I can say about this book. I really kind of enjoyed it. Parts of this book were 4 and 5 star sections, and then there were parts that I like thought the writing felt really forced, like the author was trying really, really hard to cram like contemporary social media references into the book and remind you that it's modern. And then the main complaint I have, the book deals with a backstory with some character, more than one character actually, who have traumatic memories of SA in their past. And it talks about that a lot. And I felt like, I can't speak to whether or not it was well portrayed, but what I can say is that for a book that is absolutely marketed as a cozy mystery, And in many respects is a cozy. Like the cover looks like a Christmas sweater. It's on a train, it's snowing, there's a murder, closed circle trope situation going on. I feel like that topic is not welcome in a cozy. So I didn't love that. I will say also, by the way, because I was desperate to get through Dracula, I actually started to listen to Dracula at 1.5 speed, which is a major development in my life. I've never been able to listen to an audiobook at more than 1x, and now I'm doing it, and I've gotten used to it, and I understand now what people are saying when they say they listen to an audiobook at the speed they would read, because it's like they're just hearing the words and reading, not listening to a radio play. That's never been how I've experienced an audiobook before, but I'm starting to get it. So anyway, I will get out of your grill, but I just am excited about that development and thought I would share it with you. So yeah, so I listened to this book on an audiobook at 1.5x, and the audiobook was nice. And I enjoyed the book, and I gave it 3 stars. It's not gonna change your life. It might trigger you if you need to be aware of that for the topic that I mentioned, but it's a cozy read for the most part. There's very trafficking in lots of cozy Christmassy tropes with the train and the snow and the tablet. There's a lot of baking references. She's Scottish. It's generally pleasant, except for when it's not. I liked it, and I guess I kind of mildly recommend it. Yeah, it's 3 stars. Yeah, so yeah. I'm currently, that's the last book I listened to. I'm now reading the audiobook of Midwinter Murder, Fireside Tales from the Queen of Mystery, aka Agatha Cristie. I've listened to this before, so I'm actually rereading it, and I love it. It's all Agatha Cristie mystery short stories featuring various, Tommy and Tuppence, Miss Marple, Poirot, you name it. There's some stories from them in this collection, set during the winter. And many of them are during the holidays. My favorite is still the first one in the US version of this book, which is called 3 Blind Mice, which you may have heard of. Deals with a young couple that has opened up essentially a bed and breakfast. And it's their first night receiving guests, and there's a horrible snowstorm, and they're keeping secrets from each other, and then their guests arrive and people start dying. And it's just a good time. And I like the mystery. I like how it unravels. I will say there's a character named Christopher Wren, named after a famous architect, also named Christopher Wren. And he's definitely, I'm befuddled, sort of coded like a gay character in this story. I mean, I know that that's not what it was, I guess. They certainly don't come out and say that he's gay. But he also comments, in addition to being very limp-wristed and talking about just having the way he's written and the way he's read by the narrator, all of it makes it very clear that he's a very effeminate man. He's also is always commenting on how handsome these men are. So that was really bizarre to me. I was like, wow, I've not seen this in a Agatha Cristie story before. There's also one called A Christmas Tragedy, which is a Miss Marple mystery where she is at a dinner party and they're sharing mysteries with each other, and it's about her figuring out that a man wanted to murder his wife but failing to stop him from doing it. So those are 2 that I really like from that collection. I recommend that collection. I think it's really good. I really love these audiobooks. I believe this one is read by Fenella Woolgar, and she does a wonderful job. I also really like the complete short stories, Miss Marple short story collection, which is an audiobook, and I believe that one is read by Juliet Stevenson. You Better Not Cry by Augusten Burroughs. This is a collection of anecdotes. This is a memoir. It's a collection of stories from his youth about his relationship with Christmas, essentially. And it's really heartwarming. And some of the stories are really heartbreaking, especially as a gay man. It's, trigger warning for the HIV/AIDS crisis. And it's very funny, though, the stories from his childhood and even when he was a young man. He's a very witty writer. It made me cry and laugh at the same time. I loved this book when I read it in 2018. I gave it 5 stars. Highly recommend that book. I loved it when I read it. I clutched it to my chest, crying and smiling and laughing and thinking, thank you, God, for this book when I read it. So that's not dramatic, but I liked it. Again, because it's a collection, you don't have to finish it by the end of the year, because it's vignette. So You can take it at your own pace. And it's got this crazy cover that's really fun. Small Things Like These by Claire Keegan. A lot of people have talked about this book. It's short. It's 128 pages. This is a novella. It is 1985 in a small Irish town. During the weeks leading up to Christmas, Bill Furlong, a coal merchant and family man, faces into his busiest season. Early one morning, while delivering an order to the local convent, he makes a discovery which forces him to confront both his past and the complicit silences of a town controlled by the church. There's something shady going on at the convent, essentially, and it's the holiday season, it's Christmas time, and it is a deeply affecting story of hope, quiet heroism, and empathy. It's a lovely story. It'll move you. I actually think I originally got it on NetGalley, and then I didn't read it, and then I finally read it a year later. Yeah, I loved it. It was really, really great. The Greatest Gift by Phillip van Doren Stern. This is a short story, originally published as a Christmas card that this man sent out to his Christmas card recipients, and was later turned into the film It's a Wonderful Life, the Frank Capra film with Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed. So if you know that movie, it's basically, that's the basic idea, is the idea of this man who reaches a moment of extreme depression and destitution in his life, wishes that he'd never been born, and an angel comes down from heaven and shows him what the world would be like, and what all of his loved ones around him would be like, and what their lives would be like had he not ever been born, in order to show him what a wonderful impact he's had on the world and on the people around him, and how loved and vital he is to the fabric of that community and to the world. And so it's very, very nice. It's very sweet. The story is different from the movie. It's what people are doing when he looks in on them. All of their little situations are different. The movie is a lot more filled out, but it's the same idea. It's just such a nice story. It's such a nice idea. And it's a really easy read. I listened to an audiobook of this, which was very short, but even the hardcover is 64 pages long. I highly recommend, if you've seen the film or even if you haven't, that you give this story a try. It instills a love of life and reminds us to be grateful for the gift of life and for the fact that we are here and that we have the ability to spread joy and kindness and empathy and have a positive impact on other people, which is the whole point of this season. Now, getting into slightly longer things, the obvious king of Christmas stories, A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, is listed on Goodreads, the hardcover, as being 112 pages long. It's a Christmas Carol. Charles Dickens is funny, you guys. I don't know if this is a commonly held viewpoint, but if you've read A Christmas Carol, you'll know what I'm talking about. A lot of the funniest lines in The Muppet Christmas Carol, by the way, are just lifted directly out of his writing. And I think his writing is funny throughout the story. It's also very moving, it's very sweet, and it teaches the lesson that it has always taught everybody in all its incarnations. It's a Christmas Carol. But yeah, if you've never read it, you should definitely read it. And it does take some time to adjust to his writing style. Anytime you're reading something that's really old, it can be hard to make that adjustment. But if you can stick through it after a while and you get used to it, you'll be glad that you did, because it's a really lovely piece. Now back to my main gal, Jessica Fletcher, aka Donald Bain. A Little Yuletide Murder by Donald Bain and Jessica Fletcher. I actually have it sitting right here. This is another one of the Murder, She Wrote books that has a skull hidden on the cover. We love it. Yuletide, oh, Santa gets murdered. That's what happens. Yeah, so this is a charming, silly Murder, She Wrote tale in which the local Cabot Covian, who always plays Santa Claus in all of the local events at Christmas time in Cabot Cove, gets shot to death. And the town is very upset about this because he was a beloved citizen, and Jessica is on the case. She's bantering with Sheriff Metzger about it and calling him Mort. I remember just that it's very cute. It's Murder, She Wrote, and again, it's a cozy mystery at Christmas time. It's always a good time. I gave this 4 stars last year. Let's just read the blurb, because some of these blurbs are very silly. This one was really good. I remember this now. It's beginning to look a lot like murder. Jessica Fletcher is planning to spend a cozy Christmas at home in Cabot Cove. This year she's not on the circuit being interviewed about her latest novel or autographing copies at local bookstores. But when Rory Brent, who plays Santa in the town festival, of course they have a town festival, is found shot to death on his farm, there will be no peace on earth. until his killer is found. Snooping into Cabot Cove's past for a motive, Jessica is determined to deliver the killer before Christmas. The trouble is that the next sound she might hear this silent night may be a scream. Her own. There will be no peace on earth. She wants to deliver the killer before Christmas like she's FedEx. This silent night, the next sound might be her scream. I mean, come on, these blurbs are incredible. The blurb tells you all you need to know. It's just sweet. I gave it 4 stars, I think, because it was just charming, done well. And that book is, of course, not a difficult read. It is 290 pages long. And yeah, Santa gets shot. So, Merry Christmas. Just realized that I kind of did this wrong. This is supposed to go that way. All right, well, the whole video is ruined. Happy holidays, everybody. Those are the books that I recommend. Those are the books that I have been reading. Those are the books that I've read in the past that make me feel holiday vibes. And here is my Christmassy video. I hope that you all really enjoyed these holiday vibes. It is in fact okay for me to put this down. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. I hope you're able to spend time with the people that you love, that you are not more stressed out by the logistics of the holiday than you are able to enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you for being here. And until next time, I will be here in the dark